Recently, I celebrated 1500 days of practicing Spanish with Duolingo. And honestly, I think that's worth talking about. Not because of Spanish itself, but because of what it says about consistency. 1500 days. That's more than, I think, 4 years of showing up every single day. Some days I was motivated, some days I wasn't. But still, I showed up, and that's what I want this episode to be about: the power of consistency. This is Braininess, and you are our dear listener. And in today's episode, we're going to dive into how consistency can transform something that feels small into something meaningful. Okay, now let me tell you how it started for me. When I first downloaded the application on my phone, I didn't see it as this big life project. And at first, honestly, it felt like a game. You know how the app just sends you notifications to not break your streak and just keep learning? I don't know how familiar you are with this application, but yeah, there is this option that just every day sends you notifications to remind you to keep your streak. And you just tap in and do a quick lesson. That was me. I was just clicking through words, kinda half interested, like I was collecting points rather than learning a language, 6 months went by like that. 6 months, I think that's a good amount of time. And during that time, I didn't feel like I was learning much, just random words. If you'd ask me back then whether I was learning Spanish, I would have said not really. But then one day, something shifted. I realized I could actually form a simple sentence in my head. I could take an idea and put it into Spanish words. And I also remember asking my mom to give me short sentences in my native language, and I just translate them into Spanish. And that's when it hit me. All those tiny daily lessons had been just making sense. Actually, I was building a foundation without even realizing it. It was all there. That was the first sign for me that consistency was paying off. After that moment, I started taking it more seriously. I gave it more time in my daily routine, and after I think about a year, I added other resources such as songs, movies, or reading a book or some journals in Spanish. But even after doing so, Duolingo stayed the main and the core source of my learning path in learning Spanish. It was my anchor, the daily habit that kept everything else together. And that's when I really understood something. Consistency is not about doing something perfectly, it's about doing it regularly. It's about not letting go of it even when the progress feels invisible. And that's exactly the formula I'm going to just try with this podcast. I've only been at Braininess for about 2 months, I guess, right now. And this is my 5th episode. And I can't even imagine where I'll be after 6 months or a year. But even right now, already, I can see the difference. Each episode, I feel a little more confident, my thoughts come out smoother, and my voice feels steadier. And it's all because I'm showing up and practicing. Even being honest, sometimes I feel like I don't have much to say. I just show up. That's the magic of consistency. At first, it feels like nothing is happening and you don't see the results right away. But then, almost quietly, something starts to grow. And one day you look back and see, wow, I've actually come a long way, okay? But don't expect it to be so evident at first, but just give it some time. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure after a while you will see it all paying off. And yeah, on Duolingo, sometimes I do just one lesson, a 2-minute effort, because that is all I can give it that day. That's all I have energy for. And but that little effort is still counted. It is still just keeps me to move forward, and I think that's true for anything you're working on. On tough days, give yourself permission to scale it down, but even a tiny action sends a powerful signal to your brain that, see, I'm not giving up. I'm still here, okay? But this is all I can do today. But here's the thing. If you literally can't show up one day, Duolingo has something called streak freeze. Okay, if you're familiar with the atmosphere in Duolingo, you're probably familiar with this option as well. It's like a safety net, If you miss a day, your streak survives, okay? My advice here is that use it infrequently. Maybe allow yourself 5 streak freezes in total, because if you rely on streak freezes too much, eventually you'll lose your streak, and with it, that rhythm you've been building. Okay, so just use your streak freezes wisely and don't use them frequently, okay? But now, here is the deeper thing consistency taught me. When you show up every day for something, you start to understand it on another level. You notice some patterns. You notice its loopholes, its nuances. You don't just practice. You develop a relationship with the work that you're doing. And once you really understand the nature of something, you can handle its challenges so much better. You can improve it, you can refine it, and eventually you master it, okay? So whether it's a language, a podcast, or any other project, my biggest takeaway in this is that progress doesn't come from occasional bursts of effort. It comes from showing up every single day in whatever way you can. That's how you plant something, and that's how you let it grow. Okay? And just, one day, like I gave this Duolingo example, one day, just like with my Spanish, you look back at all those tiny daily steps and realize they've turned into something big. After I told you 1,500 days of working on my Spanish, I literally can speak Spanish right now. And that's one of my biggest achievements ever until now. So don't underestimate the power of consistency, especially after the resilience episode in which we talked about how you can develop this bouncing back quality in yourself. You also, through consistency, you are actually making it more powerful. Yeah, that's all for this consistency episode. I hope it gave you something to think about and to work on. This is Braininess, where we think deep and stay curious. See you in the next episode. Take care.